Good morning. Well, we have been hearing since long that justice should not only be done, but it should also appear to be done. You should not only be good, but you should also appear to be good. And we have also been hearing long, loud chants about human rights, about non-discrimination, about racism. But one institution that is outstandingly supposed to be a custodian of human rights, supposed to be a bulwark against corruption, supposed to punish the corrupt and the evildoers, becomes the citadel of racism, becomes the tool of exploiting people, then that's a matter of shame. ICC, International Court of Crime, or International Criminal Court, is an institution which was set up with a noble cause, that the political leaders all over the world who are corrupt, who violate human rights, should be brought about before it and punished. In 1 year, more than 9,000 complaints came before that. And would you believe it? 99% of them were against African leaders. Looking at those complaints, one would feel as if it's only the Africans who violate human rights. I do not deny that there have been 20 civil wars in Africa, that the local warlords have been exploiting people, that terrorism like that we witnessed in Nigeria or in Sudan is the worst possible. We are aware that women have been used as sex slaves. But coming to the other side, what about the human record of Saudi Arabia? Has a single king or a leader of that country been prosecuted? What about the violation of human rights in China? What about the prostitution and the white sex slavery in Europe? Why are those people not being punished? Why are the political leaderships of the Middle Eastern countries, the European countries, the Asian countries immune to the prosecution, while Africans and Latin Americans are the subject of witch-hunt? I don't deny, let them be punished. But there has to be a justice for all. You cannot cherry pick. An international court of crime, International Criminal Court, is cherry picking its victims. As I said, majority of the 9,000 complaints are against Africa. Until now, hardly a couple of hundred have been decided, and all have been punished. But the real culprits go away. Let's assume that they punish the warlord. But then have we tried to find out who gave him the arms to kill people? Who was the instigator of that? The instigator is sitting somewhere in USA or in Saudi Arabia or in Germany. The supplier of the arms may be in Canada, maybe in USA, maybe in Europe. They are equally guilty, if not really, but as accessory and as abettors of the offense. Have we ever punished them? No. Why? And when an institution like that, an international institution like that, acts in such a partisan manner, then the result is that that institution loses its credibility. And that is what is happening. Burundi has left ICC. They say, no, we don't accept it. South Africa is leaving. And you would see at least 20 countries would be leaving in the next 3 months. They have already given their intention to leave, including Kenya, Uganda, Mali, Mauritania, and so on and on. The list is endless. They have also decided to have a self-regulating mechanism, which is an excellent idea. And they are setting up their own African Court of Justice of Human Rights. There cannot be a better example of self-discipline than these leaders agreeing to the fact that human rights have got to be respected, that human life has a value to whomsoever it may belong. It may be the dictator, it may be the king, it may be the president, or it may be a common laborer. But by the very fact that they agree to self-regulate, they show that they are serious. They are black sheep in every society. But then they have said, yes, if we are wrong, we'll punish our brothers. Because they know that this so-called International Criminal Court is itself criminal in an act of racial discrimination. As a matter of fact, ICC has become a tool of colonialism. It's an expression of disdain towards Africans. They have been exploited since ages, and they continue to be exploited today. Once they were exploited for their diamonds and their natural wealth. Now they are being exploited so that they cannot be economically self-sufficient and are dependent on the industrialized society for their livelihood. They are the markets that must remain poor so that the businesses in the West can flourish. When I say West, I would include China into it as well, for the simple reason China's colonialism in Africa is crossing all limits. However, we'll discuss that another day because that's an immensely large topic. The way they are acting in Botswana, Namibia shows that their tentacles are spreading faster than that of the British imperialism. Now come to the facts that 22 countries of Africa have clearly decided that International Criminal Court is not really a court, but is in fact like the courts of the Middle Ages in Europe, a witch-hunting institution which will cherry-pick African leaders and punish them. Definitely they are guilty, but it will let go greater criminals go scot-free. Can the International Criminal Court issue an order, a warrant against Marshal Putin, Vladimir Putin? They would not dare do that. Did International Court of Crime Prevention and Human Rights intervene in the case of either Gujarat or Delhi, or is it interfering in what's happening in Balochistan, where systematically Balochs are being murdered? Did it intervene in the Tamil massacre in Sri Lanka? Did it intervene or punish the Myanmar leaders for killing the Muslim Rohingyas? Did it intervene when Uyghurs were being killed by the Chinese? The answer would be big no. Even the suppressors of human rights like Kim Il-jung in North Korea, they'll go scot-free. And examples have been aplenty. You can pick up any part of the world and you would find rapacious, criminal leaders. The leaders who are concerned with the pelf and power, but not with the welfare of the people, who will indulge in any underhand means to exploit people, to kill people, so that they can enlarge their power and their financial base. But they would be revered, they would be respected, they would be given accolades. In Saudi Arabia, 49 people were hanged, including the famous cleric who opposed Saudi Arabia, where the people's hands are cut for small theft. I'm not going into the desirability of that. I'm going to the fact that all these instances are violative of the concept of the human rights. They are clear indicators of the corruption as we common people perceive it. And my objection is to this rank discrimination. You see, an international court has to have a certain reputation. It must be seen as an impartial, unbiased, clear-headed institution that is dedicated to those principles for which it was created. It has to win respect and credibility. When such an institution is set up, people have high hopes. And when such an institution acts in such a manner, then high hopes are replaced by a worse agony. And that's what's happening. With the result that these people who were victimized thought that they'll get retribution, they'll get justice. But now they have seen is that those who oppose Western concepts are those who do not kowtow to the wishes of the leaders of the West, be it Merkel or be it Obama, be it May or be it Putin, be it a person who doesn't make the European Union happy, or be it a person who makes White House turn pink. Those people would be punished. You can be sure in the next few months, in case Hillary Clinton comes in power, the Philippines president would be hauled up for human rights violation because he ordered the drug dealers to be killed. According to US, the drug dealers should not have been killed, but should have been arrested, lodged in cushy prisons, allowed to escape the way US has done. And in case the courts punish them and then give them a release, a conditional release, a pardon or whatever. But here, this president has a gumption to abuse and use unparliamentary words for Obama. And US cannot condone that act, that its leaders should be insulted. Even I would say it should not have been done. Civility must be maintained. But is the crime so big that it should be punished, while the people who have done worse things are not being punished? This is a clear indication that might is right. And if you are with me, you can indulge in any activity and you shall not be touched. Oppose me and for the smallest infraction you will be punished. Now this raises another question. The idea of a nation state says that your country's sovereignty is inviolable. When you have an international criminal court which looks into the affairs of your country, it's a clear case of interference in the internal affairs of that country, whatever the reason may be. And taken to the logical limit, why should ICC not institute an inquiry into the wrongdoings of United States leaders? You would not even dream that somebody would have the courage to do so. Why? Are these people squeaky clean? They are not. Look at the revelations in the WikiLeaks about the corruption of Obama and Hillary Clinton, or of the leaders earlier. Look at what George Bush did in Iraq. Was that not an interference? What Obama did in Libya and Syria, was that not a violation of human rights? So, they are guilty as well. Why we don't punish them? So it's not only discrimination, it's not only a tool of exploitation, but it is a rank front organization to which hunt, and it's violating the sovereignty of those countries. You cannot have a supranational authority to regulate your countries. The mechanism in each country should be such that the wrongdoer should be punished. But I would not like that the president of USA decides whether the Houthi tribesmen should be killed or not. And that is why when Brunei, Burundi, South Africa, Ghana, Mali, Mauritius decide to leave ICC, I applaud their decision. They are asserting two things. A, they have a right to live they want. At the same time, they say that the guilty must be punished, but with themselves, not by an outside agency, not by an outside authority. There is no supranational authority because that's violative of their sovereignty. As a matter of fact, I now have a sneaking suspicion that when Obama talked of the one-word government, this International Criminal Court is an expression of that desire to be a lord of the whole universe. This inordinate ambition expressed by Obama in a weak moment to be an unacknowledged emperor of the world for 4 years and 8 years is at the root of all these diseases. No country should be permitted to boss over other countries. And as a matter of fact, the leaders of the free world and of all the countries should unite together to ensure that the supremacy sought to be imposed by any country, be it Russia, be it China, be it India, be it USA, be it Germany, shall not be accepted. If that was to be accepted, what was wrong with Genghis Khan or Alexander the Great? What was wrong with Hitler and Mussolini? Their ambition was the same. And the whole world united against that. And the same thing is happening today. There is a need to realize that. Until this realization takes place, we might become once again the victims of neo-Hitlerite terrorism and a dream of some psychotic being who dreams of being the world ruler. The different countries, the different universes are different universes. Their cultures are different, their languages are different, their customs are different. Uniformity will kill humanity and its creativity. That cannot be accepted and shall not be accepted. Ultimately, it is self-destruct. So let's save the humanity from self-destruction and ensure that the institutions are created not for creating dissension, not for exploiting, but for maintaining human attitude. That's the need of the day. Thank you.